Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Weather with Jonathan here. I'm back with another upload, and there's a lot of things we got to talk about today, like the big warm up that could potentially bring back severe weather, and the possibility for some snow in the Sierras and another possible snowstorm in the upper Midwest. We're gonna go over all of this in your forecast. So starting off today, we've got these high wind warnings for portions of eastern Wyoming near Cheyenne. Um, some winter weather advisories here in the Rockies. We've got these winter storm warnings in the Sierras with some also wind advisories in down here in California and New Mexico. Also some portions of South Dakota and North Dakota. But we've also got some more high wind warnings up here in Montana. And by the way, like I showed you just a minute ago, these winter weather advisories, these are going to extend up all the way up here. We've got winter weather advisories all the way up to about Mount Rainier. And then we got some flood watches near Seattle with some winter storm watches right near Mount Baker. And then we also do have some gale watches over Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, and portions of eastern Lake Superior. Now, the temperatures are going to start getting warm, and that could bring back the potential for severe weather. You can see that over the next couple of days, we're going to start getting warm temperatures in Texas, almost up to 70 to 80 degrees, yeah. And these could very well lead to some fire weather, which I'll get to that in a minute too. Um, but with the system, it's going to bring back some cold air, but then it's really going to start warming up again around the 14th, Valentine's Day. It's going to start warming up again. And you can easily see that temperatures right after the 19th could very well be high, almost up to 90 degrees in Texas. And I definitely think that'll result in some fire weather. If we take a look at the precipitation amounts for that area, they're going to be very dry, only up to 0.2 inches. And I know upcoming to the 20th, we're going to have a lot of elevated or maybe critical fire risks issued for these portions of Texas. Now, that's not going to be the case for places like Arkansas, Kentucky, Indiana. You guys are going to be getting some serious rainfall, and same with the Sierras. All of you guys could be getting, man, a lot of rain. Sierras possibly seeing another like 8 inches of rain, but it's really this area that I'm concerned about. Earlier on one of the models, it was showing about a foot of rain. I now listen. This is all like just fantasy land. Most of this probably won't happen. I know we're gonna get flooding, but this is a prediction, okay? So, but if this it does actually happen, I will give you updates on it. So, and yes, we will see some rain we'll obviously see rain here, but it's going to change a lot. Either we could see a lot more rain or we could see a lot less rain. So I think the most likely scenario is it goes down a little bit, but if it does continue to go up, I will give you updates on it. Now, the wet is going to be more for the east and the west coast. But for Texas, that's going to be the total opposite. As you can see today, we've got a fire risk for northeastern New Mexico, northwestern Texas, and extreme western Oklahoma. You can see that tiny little portion. And that's going to continue for the next several days. We actually have an elevated risk tomorrow. You can see that that's going to be a lot larger, extending into southern to eastern Mexico, western to north Texas, And guess what? That's going to continue even farther. Because guess what? Look, we've got another risk for day 3. You can see that we have an elevated risk. Well, now they just made some changes. We do not have an elevated risk anymore, but they did have a large elevated risk for Texas. But yeah, so there's gonna be some fire conditions, but on the East Coast we could be talking about a little severe weather. Tomorrow for day 3, February 7th, we have a marginal risk of severe weather. For places like Houston, Corpus Christi, Texas, Pasadena, Beaumont, and College Station. This may get expanded. I don't think so. I don't think it will get upgraded either. This does not look like a very concerning threat. Now, we also have a marginal risk for day 4, day 5, day 6, and then on day 7 and day 8, we do not. We have mainly no thunder or just a little bit of rain. So, yeah, the potential for severe weather does look greater after this, but we'll start off with the easy part. The storms that'll fire up on the 7th, I can see why they issued the marginal risk. It's not going to be a very conditional threat. You can see dew points reaching from 50 to 60, not very substantial, but then it gets more substantial, mid 60s. I think we could see an upgrade to a slight risk in the near future with this, but they have not considered it yet because of some things that have happened. But the Cape does look pretty decent. Cape values up to 1,000 joules to or more. Places like New Orleans and Mobile, Alabama, Gulfport, Mississippi. You guys could see well above 1,000 joules, maybe even to 1,500. But we've got a massive parade of storms after this. This is only one of like the 4 storms we have. That's gonna and this is gonna continue all the way until the end of February. You can see around February 14th it ramps up again, number 2. And then 16th ramps up again. That's the 3rd storm. I think this will be the most significant. Now, this is way too late to talk about like, oh, what risk are we going to have from the Storm Prediction Center? That's way too far out. This is like 300 hours out. Okay, so we don't need to be very concerned about this. This is 11 days away. And then after that, we do have another storm. This also does look pretty concerning. So we have a total of 4 or 5 storms. Pretty significant. And I do think this will continue until at least the beginning of March. Now if you want to know what's gonna happen with the storms and like what it's gonna look like, this is what it's gonna look like now. It's not exactly what it's gonna look like, but this is like a picture of what it's gonna look what the models think it will look like. So you can see we have that system bringing in a bunch of cold air, maybe some snow in the upper Midwest and on the East Coast, maybe some lake effect snow. And then you see that other storm system come in. That's going to be the one that I'm a little more concerned about weather-wise. And this is going to be on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, central western Nebraska, you guys could be seeing some heavy snow. Same for South Dakota. Maybe even some ice in Sioux City, Sioux Falls, Arnold's Park, Iowa. You guys could be seeing possibly some ice. Now, this will bring in some snow. I don't think it's going to bring in too much, but it'll bring in quite a bit. up to 2 feet possible in Nebraska, South Dakota to South Dakota. Now this is 400 hours out. This is the total snow. This is not from one storm. That storm you'll probably only end up seeing like 8 inches or 10 inches. I would maybe expect a slight bit of an area to see a foot or snow of snow, but we've really got to watch out for southern Iowa currently. Snowfall totals up to 28 inches currently in some isolated areas. It's going to continue back through Chicago and north, Gary, Indiana, north, which is actually southeast Chicago, but this could be also continuing through places like Toledo, Lorain, Cleveland, Erie, and possibly Buffalo back through Watertown. These could result in some sleet. Some of these storms could, yes, produce sleet, and freezing rain. Now listen, I don't really think the ice part will happen, but it can happen. We've got sleet totals in southern Iowa up to about half an inch possible. The freezing rain totals are more of a bigger threat, but I don't. Either we won't get freezing rain or we'll probably get just a little bit. Because if the models are still showing this tomorrow, then there's more confidence that we're gonna get some. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.